Hello, fellow players of Hero Wars. I'm Jay. Welcome to Jay vs. Hero Wars. Today, I'll be talking about the new hero coming to Facebook and web, known as Alvanor. I will be talking about what I think we will see from the event itself, as well as some of the potential skills we may see for Alvanor based off my experience with Alvanor in mobile. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so first things first, Alvanor is coming to Facebook and web this weekend, right? And it's going to be longer than a 3-day event, of course, right? So new hero Alvanor, what we can expect is this. So typically when we have a new hero, we have an event map, right? So during the event, you get this separate map and you complete different quests, you beat different bosses, and you gather rewards along the way. So here in the bottom right, you can see that there is a little book that you need to collect, right? And you need those books to basically battle the different bosses. Here you can see the swords that are crossed indicate that there is a task there that needs to be done. When the task is complete, you'll see a sword going straight through that task. You can see there's one right here, just to the right of Thea, right? And then a box just indicates that you have a reward to pick up that you have unclaimed. Now, real quickly, what does a boss look like? So you would click on the picture of the werewolf in the back, right? And you will see something that looks like this, right? And so this is the boss, right? For beating the boss, you get 1,500 of these coins, right? Which you can then cash in at the Alvanor Shop. But basically, one thing to note here is that every time you battle a boss, that boss will become stronger. And honestly, the rewards don't get any better. So when you get the raid option, assuming that shows up, then I would use that. I wouldn't bother battling the boss anymore because at that point, the boss gets stronger and the rewards are the same. Once you get those Alvanor coins, right, we go back to the map. You see Alvanor on the right-hand side. That is the Alvanor Shop. So you would want to click on that once this map shows up for you, and you'll see that there is the Alvanor Shop. Here you can purchase Alvanor using those coins that you earned from beating bosses, right? There is also an Alvanor Spring Skin. We also have Old Grove gifts that we can see, Chaos Cores, and other items so far. And I'm sure that, as you can see, there is a bar on the right-hand side indicating that there are more items in the shop. I guess I should also point out, for players, this is your first time experiencing an event like this, you will need to get Alvanor multiple times if you want to get Alvanor to Absolute. Basically, the way it works is the first purchase is you just getting Alvanor at its most basic level. And then every time you purchase Alvanor after that, you're getting one more star, which indicates a lot more soul stones, right? So naturally, each star level up, right, or evolution will cost you more Alvanor coins. Now, going to the Spring Skin, I think it's pretty interesting looking. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it, if I'm being honest. I think it's very interesting, too, that Hero Wars Facebook and web is getting Alvanor right now, right? And meanwhile, on mobile, Alvanor still does not have any skins. So this is interesting to me. Here, Alvanor is getting a boost in magic attack from this skin, which is really good because I will show you in mobile here very shortly that a lot of his skills are dependent on magic attack. So here we are switching over to my mobile account, right? I have Alvanor here, right? We're going to go ahead and scroll down. I am free to play here, so don't judge too hard on my mobile account, but I'd say it's not bad considering I am free to play. But here you can see Tristan, right, the brand new hero on mobile, as well as Alvanor, the new hero coming to Facebook and web. And we have all of his skills here, right? Runes of Ice is the first one. Alvanor conjures 5 runes of ice in front of himself and launches them at enemies. Each rune travels towards the nearest enemy, damaging and slowing the target. So basically, you're slowing down the tanks, not allowing them to go off as often for the most part. Then we have Rune of Life. Alvanor conjures a Rune of Life that heals all allies once per second. While the rune is active, all allied elves are healed twice as effectively regardless of the healing source. Now, it's important to keep in mind here that elves are a faction in mobile that will not be a faction in the Facebook and web version, right? So basically, we're going to have different allies for Alvanor. Well, kind of, right? But anyway, so there is a healing attribute right here to the Rune of Life. The third skill is Rune of Fire. Alvanor invokes the power of the Rune of Fire, unleashing it on the two nearest enemies. Each target takes magic attack damage, right? So, well, at least based off of Alvanor's magic attack. And then we finally have Rune of Earth, right? And so here with Rune of Earth, Alvanor activates a rune to protect his allies. While the rune is active, allies take decreased damage from basic attacks. The Rune of Earth is always active for elves, right? So when you have something that's always active for certain heroes, especially something that mitigates damage taken from basic attacks, that's a big deal. Here's that deal big basic attacks typically are like Kira, right? So that is bad news for someone who uses Kira, assuming that these are the exact same skills that we see on Facebook and web. So that's kind of what we have so far here. And again, I'm just going to show you real quick the skins, right? There's only the default skin on Alvanor, which I think is hilarious. Facebook and web automatically have a skin to go along with Alvanor, the spring skin, as I mentioned earlier. Now we have artifacts for Alvanor. I always get asked about Alvanor's artifacts, so we're going to go over that right now. The Soul of the Forest, right? So all about magic attack, which makes sense. Again, a lot of Alvanor's skills are based off of magic attack. We then have Manuscript of the Void, all about adding more magic attack and allowing for magic penetration, specifically to Alvanor. We finally have the Ring of Intelligence, which of course just focuses on Alvanor's main stat, which is intelligence. Also, I really like this picture on the left-hand side. I don't know why, I just really think it's cool. So moving on, we have Glyphs. And so here you can see I haven't unlocked them all. But we have intelligence, right, his main stat. We have magic defense. We have magic penetration, health. And we also have magic attack. So those are what we're given glyph-wise on mobile. And let me see here. I definitely believe I can show that the main stat is based off of intelligence. Sorry, scrolling around here. Here we go. So here you have the lore of Alvanor. I'm not going to go into all of that, but you can see that Alvanor is positioned more to be towards the front line. His main hero stat is indeed intelligence. We have different roles here, so I'm not going to go into that, but there is, he has a support role as well as some mage properties. They write here that it's special elf, right, because there's that elf faction, but that's not going to apply to Facebook and web. So that is really what we're looking at from Alvanor so far, or what I'm expecting us to see, if it's anything like Alvanor on mobile. Now, I kind of want to show you guys what it looks like when Alvanor, when I say front position for Alvanor. So on mobile, there, we have the faction of elves. So the faction of elves includes Thea, Alvanor, Aurora, Darkstar, and Kai, right? So those are the 5 elves, right? And of course, on Facebook, I believe we're going to have a little bit different, a little bit of variation. I don't think Aurora is going to be in there, and I don't entirely believe that we will see Darkstar as well in this grouping. And I can explain a little bit more on that in a little bit, but I just want to show you guys what it looks like in a matchup in terms of where Alvanor stands, right? It said front line, but he's not a tank. So, you can see he's behind Aurora here in this particular formation. Pretty straightforward stuff. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and let it run real quick. Of course, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. And what you'll see is that there's really not a whole lot of damage taken here. You have 2 healers, basically, in the fact that Alvanor can heal a little bit, as can Thea. Then Darkstar is very improved on mobile, so big damage dealer there. Aurora is decent on mobile as well. So really, that's kind of what we're looking at for a matchup, or where Alvanor will be standing. So now we do have this feature that we're told about called the Grove Keeper, right? And I'm going to say that this is what they're using in place of the elf faction on Facebook and web. Now, I think it's going to apply to, obviously, Kai and Thea, as well as Alvanor and part of that is because the video really featured them, and you can actually see that there is the word block here written in front of all 3 of those heroes, which means that there's some block component when it comes to this feature. Also, you'll notice that there is a little mark on the bottom right of all 3 of the heroes indicated at the bottom there, right? So it looks like the Rune of Life, which, as you may recall, helps increase healing, right, twice as quickly. And so that is what I'm expecting us to see for this Alvanor event, right? And basically what I predict could be what we see from Alvanor in terms of skills and artifacts. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Feel free to leave a thumbs up and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you all in Dominion.